to do this. Okay, so the meetings are being recorded, so hopefully everybody's okay with that, and more people are joining us. So as I said, good afternoon, a very warm welcome to the AGM of the Torbay Community Development Trust. My name's Chris Forster, I'm the Chair of Trustees, and we have at the moment 59 participants. We have volunteers from around the Bay, we've got our fantastic team, and we've got councillors, and we've got other visitors and other stakeholders. So I just want to give you all a very warm welcome, and it's great to have you with us this afternoon. We've got quite a packed programme over the next couple of hours. You will have seen the agenda. It's going to be fast moving. It's going to be emotional at times. Oh dear, somebody's just made me even bigger. It's going to be emotional at times, and there will be opportunity to share and to feedback as well. And then if you fancy staying for the boring bit towards the end, we'll hold the AGM towards the end around about 6:30. So as I said, it's great to welcome everybody. So let's kick off, and we're going to introduce to you the incredible work of the Torbay Community Helpline, and we're going to invite you to share in this video.
Hello, welcome. When the pandemic crisis began, we knew that a lot of people in Torbay would need help. We also knew there were a lot of people that wanted to give help. So we thought about having a phone line that people could ring up, offering and giving and receiving and asking. We had an existing project called Staying Put, which had been funded through the Aging Well programme. That line was already up and running, so we made it the Torbay Community Helpline. Hundreds of people called that line in the first couple of weeks of the first lockdown. We managed to get it up and running in time so that people had somewhere to call. And it was a partnership activity built on the Aging Well partnership that we had been running and working together on for the last 6 years. So overnight, many of our staff in the Torbay Community Development Trust and other partnership organisations changed their jobs. They became call handlers, they became rapid responders, they went out onto the streets and found things for people. They called people up just to make sure that they were okay. And something wonderful and magical was born. Initially, the Torbay Community Helpline was open 7 days a week until 8 in the evening. But we've continued to be responsive to the community. And as things started to calm down a bit, we were able to reduce the opening hours from Monday. Or isolating could no longer go to food banks to pick up their food parcels.
How can I help you today? Right, you're interested in getting a food parcel.
The food banks in Torbay came together and formed an alliance, a beautiful partnership where food could be distributed effectively to the right people at the right time, also using the helpline as a point of contact. In the first month, the local food banks' numbers quadrupled. Over the last year, the food banks have delivered 350,000 meals, and currently they're delivering 10,000 meals a week.
Hello. Is that the helpline, please?
Hello, yes, this is the community helpline.
We got a letter from the government it says we're extremely vulnerable. We can't leave the house. We needed a prescription today. And is there anyone there that could do our shopping for us as well?
Yes, we can send one of our rapid responders to collect your prescription and they'll deliver it to you today. And we can find somebody to do your shopping too.
Hi, Kate. Would you be able to pick up a prescription this afternoon for someone? Oh, that's great. I'll send you the information by email. Okay, bye-bye.
More than 1,200 people have been helped with prescriptions and shopping deliveries within the day through our rapid response teams made up of local volunteers and community builders.
Hi, is this Torbay Community Helpline? Yeah, I was just wondering if I could do some volunteering for some people, maybe some shopping? Yeah? Oh, excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I can provide references, that's no problem.
Our community builders have checked references for 1,023 volunteers from the community.
I was wondering if you'd be able to give me a reference for him over the phone. Do you think he'd be a suitable person to do someone's shopping for them?
Dennis and his 90-year-old wife haven't been outside their front door since the first lockdown over a year ago.
Hi Dennis, I've got your shopping for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
No problem. You two okay?
Yeah, fine, thank you. I'm all right with you.
3,544 people have been helped by the helpline. Wendy is the only person that Georgina sees.
Oh, hello, Wendy.
Hello, how you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good.
Georgina has a telephone befriender from the helpline too.
Yes, I received a call from my new befriender. It's very appreciated because although there are lots of people in the flats here, there are 20 flats, I don't see many of them because I'm shielding and they go off in their cars and so on. So it's very nice to have someone to chat with.
It's reciprocal. People that are being helped are also helping others.
Hi, my name's Leslie. At the beginning of the pandemic, I would see everybody out doing their part to help others, and being shielded and stuck indoors, it left you feeling absolutely useless. When I had the chance to become a phone befriender, I thought, oh, something I can do from home, and hopefully I managed to bring something to people out there that I spoke to, because I know I got so much from them. They were contact with the outside world, and they really gave me a lot back in return.
As the pandemic continued and the helpline continued to develop, we found that people were ringing up with different types of needs, longer term needs that required a bit of specialist expertise. So we reached out into our voluntary sector and started working with more and more organisations. For example, people were asking us for support for their mental health, for their anxiety, for their depression. And so we work with Age UK to provide some specialist befrienders for people that are experiencing those concerns.
We've had over 600 people come through to us asking for some support with their well-being and with their mental health.
As you can see, to date, we've had 17,468 calls to the Torbay Community Helpline. We've made 663 referrals to the Torbay Food Alliance. 611 of the calls that have come in, we've referred for mental health support. We've referred 107 people into our local adult social care team, and there's 296 people have requested financial support and have been passed on to the voluntary sector. So moving forward, we want to keep our helpline in Torbay. It's a way that we can use all of the assets that we've got in our communities, in our voluntary sector, and within our statutory sector. It's a way that people can find the things they need easily and swiftly. One call, that's all.
This is a lifeline for us.
Well, ladies and gents, that was absolutely fantastic. A brilliant video, a brilliant record of exactly what's gone on, and a tremendous way of showing how everybody has worked together. And the Torbay helpline has received national praise. So fantastic. Well done to everybody. But what next? So, Tracy, what do you think?
Okay, so I hope that wasn't as excruciating for everyone else to watch as it was for me. Thank you for bearing with it, and apologies for some of the sound problems early on. So as I said in the little video, we've stumbled on something really magical here, and we're not going to let that go. And whilst this is a AGM for the CDT, as I hope we've got across, and I know others have put in the chat section, this was a massive partnership event, partnership activity. It started with 6 of us, 6 organisations in a back room going, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? About a year and a week ago. It grew very quickly into 9 organisations coming together in a steering group. It now has 60 different voluntary sector organisations linked into it. About and the image that you see on your screen at the moment is really us trying to show you how the helpline has moved, not just from the practical neighbourly stuff that was there right from the beginning, from day one, but we're now working with people in adults and adult social care, health and adult social care. We're working with a number of organisations that are providing mental health, information and advice, financial advice particularly, which has been a major concern for people. We're developing a project around hospital discharge to enable people to get out of hospital safely and get back into their homes with the support they need. Housing support, food banks, bereavement, children, young people, family support, digital, prayer and reflection, domestic abuse, and we've even got a handy person service, which is provided by Yes in Brixham. What we wanted to do, just kind of to grab some more ideas, I suppose, is break out into groups in a couple of minutes, and just to get your kind of feedback of, your wish list. If we have this helpline and we keep it going, what else do you think it should be doing? And we're asking that in 2 ways, really. What's the future? What could it hold? What's needed for the community of Torbay? What could the helpline provide that it isn't already providing? And actually, if you're from an organisation, how could you be part of that in the future if you're not already there? So with the magic of Zoom breakouts, I believe that we're going to go off for 10 minutes and just have a few conversations and let that settle and just absorb just the things that we've managed to do and what we can build on and what we can do in the future. Thank you.
Hang on, is Matt still on here? Sorry, guys, hang on.
Keep thinking, everyone. Don't lose those thoughts. There'll be a breakout room in a moment.
Perhaps you could sing a little song, Tracy, given that you're now a
you know
star.
I'm not sure I'm up to that. But if Sandra Harper's still here, Sandra, sing us a song.
As long as Tryman doesn't, that's fine.
I was just going to suggest he does, being as he suggested it.
Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to do it. Matt?
Yeah, sorry, no luck my end, I'm afraid.
Okay, can each room please appoint a note taker, preferably one from TCDT, keep notes and send them to me afterwards. Thank you. Let's have a go.
Off we go.
Wow. Got there eventually. Catherine, are you there?
So we've got another video that we're going to show, and just to remind you, David, you need to leave your volume open so everybody can hear it. Thank you very much.
Sound again.
David, the audio is muted on the video.
Well, I was in addiction for 12 years.
Thank you for coming today and agreeing to talk with us. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about the peer support, peer development programme that you've been involved with, and give you an opportunity to say how that's been for you. So why are you involved with the Positive People Steps Forward peer development programme, Stephen?
Well, I was in addiction for 12 years, and about 10 months ago, I nearly died. And so I came into a rehab, and they suggested that I should get on some courses and stuff. And to be honest, at first, it was just to fill my time, to help with my recovery, you know. But soon I found that all these courses were really helping me emotionally, physically, mentally. All the things I was learning were all really helping in my recovery, from my addiction, you know. And I just connected with so many new people. So it ended up a lot more than I expected it to be when I started. At first, it was just to fill a bit of time. So there you go.
Thank you. And Linda?
Well, I am disabled. I was a full-time carer to a child with special needs up until a couple of years ago when I could no longer manage by myself. And I fell into a bit of depression because I didn't know who I was or what my role in life was anymore. And I got referred to Positive People, who suggested I try doing some of the courses that were available on Zoom. And being that I can't get out easily, I thought, well, I'll give it a go and see what happens. And even from the very beginning, I could see it made a huge difference to my life. I was very shy and nervous to begin with, but the information I was getting, the support from everybody else on the course and from the facilitators was amazing and encouraged me to do more and more courses as time went on. So it was really important for me. It was a support. I was less isolated. I felt like I was part of the big wide world. Even though I was doing it from my living room, I felt part of something, and that was really important to me and started to give me some identity and made a big difference, a huge difference, changed my life.
Thank you. You'll have more opportunity to talk more about that. What have you done on the peer support, peer development programme?
Okay, well, all the courses I started, I've done everything from the emotional regulation, emotional intelligence learning styles, had relationship with self-esteem. I did a hope course, Then moved on to Ready, Steady, Thrive, which I co-facilitated. I had some facilitator training, helped do that. I was put in touch with Healthy Lifestyles, and I had a personal trainer there. Although we couldn't do face to face, he still gave me all the tips over the phone, phoned me every week and encouraged me. Went to Slimming World, of all things, you know. God, I was given Microsoft 365 training so that I could get up on my computer skills. I was put in touch, I was given a work coach, Jane McMahon, who's absolutely brilliant, which she supplied, or possibly people supplied me with a laptop and the tools like Microsoft 365 to go with it. Bought me some books as well, you know what I mean, for my future courses that I'm doing. Well, it all helped me to study now because I want to do some formal qualifications now, and she really helped me. So I've done so much. I started in August last year, and it's like a whirlwind. And so brilliant. I've learned so much, and I still am learning.
Sounds like a lot.
It's a lot, but it's great. I love it.
Thank you. And Linda?
Well, I started, I think, with the Steps to Success, which was back in June or July last year. And I've done the emotional regulation. I've done relationship to self, relationship to others. I've done an anger course, some IT work, and I have done the Ready, Steady, Thrive program, the facilitator training, and there's probably more that I can't remember, but there's been so many. And to begin with, I was doing them all on my phone, and then I was supported with a low-net laptop, which made a big difference. I could see everybody on the screen. It was great. But it's leading on into so many other things. And I have done courses with the crafts for, towards Christmas, the lavender bag making, and made gnomes and a doorstop snowman. And that really, really interested me because I used to do a lot of crafts and I stopped doing them through my disability and through depression. And it's given me that urge to be creative again. So it's woken up the creativity that I'd had for years but lost. So there's just so many things that have come out of it. It's just amazing.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. What are you both looking forward to doing next?
Next up, I'm co-delivering with Linda actually the emotional regulation course that starts tomorrow, and so we're looking forward to that. After that, I've got a 4-week session planning course coming up. I'm starting with South Devon College. I'm in my counselling level 2, which again I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't have the laptop and all the support I had, especially from Jane. And so this is all working towards, I want to work in the drug and alcohol services in the future. That's my goal, and maybe even onto mental health as well, hopefully. So that's all for the future. And I've also got, which through Natasha, I've got a really exciting opportunity coming up with Torbay community grants applications, and they want me to sit on the panel with them, which is an amazing thing for me from where I came sort of 8 months ago, where I was broken, I was down and I was scared, to this confident person now that can sit in a panel and make decisions to hopefully, with my knowledge and background of recovery, that some of the things going on in the Bay, I can help them get the funding towards, because it's a really good cause. So yeah, that's a bright future at the moment.
Sounds gone again.
David, you need to unmute. Matt, are you able to unmute him?
I can't, I'm afraid.
Okay.
David,
I've been helped, and also
could you rewind?
And meaning in my life, but something I could do.
Things going on in the Bay, I can help them get the funding towards, because it's a really good cause. So yeah, that's a bright future at the moment.
Thank you, Linda.
Well, next steps for me is I said from the beginning that I'd like to possibly volunteer because I felt that I had no purpose in life, and volunteering for me, I felt, was an opportunity to do something meaningful, to help other people in the same way that I've been helped, and also giving me that purpose and meaning in my life, but something I could do around my disability because I'm unable to work. This was something I thought, well, maybe I could do. And I was unsure at the beginning, but through the courses, it's given me the confidence. And like Steve said, we're co-facilitating the emotional regulation course starting tomorrow. And I'm a little nervous, but I'm really looking forward to it because I feel like I'm able to give back something that I've gained from this experience. And to me, that's just, I mean, if I can help one person, then that gives my life so much meaning, and it makes me feel less of a useless failure than I did before I started these courses. So now I feel like I can be a productive member of society again, and that just means everything to me.
What a fantastic and an emotional video. Well done to Stephen and Linda, to everybody that's involved in that. Absolutely superb. Peter, thank you for your comment. You know, technically we're doing really well. So well done, David and Matt. Keep it going. You are doing a fantastic job. Thank you. So we're now going to move on very quickly to another area of work of the CDT. And Aging Well has been going for 6 years, but what about the legacy? So we're now going to watch hopefully a short video that talks about that. Thank you, David.
Yeah. Yesterday would have been my wife's birthday. You know, I like to keep a memory alive, so keep photos of her scattered around the house. This one was the first time that we went to Australia, and we went to Ayers Rock. We went out for a buffet meal out in the desert at night, and that was brilliant. That because my wife had, you know, had slowly got worse and worse over a 6-year period. I always thought, well, I've had that long to get used to this, that I'm going to be all right. And I think at first probably there were a little bit of bravado, if you like, or that's probably the wrong word, but you know, something there that said, yeah, I can do this. The coffee morning up on a Tuesday morning at Ockham Farm, I really enjoyed that, and I used it. I tried to put things to another end. I've got the coffee that I want, I've met the people that I want, and it's made me exercise that I probably otherwise wouldn't do. And there's also once a month now I go to a play Skittles. It's just new people to meet. And after that we end up back in the pub then, and we all end up having sausage and chips or a salad or something like that. So it's not just a quick hour and a half and hurling a ball down at Skittles, it's a little bit more as well. You know, and all these things I think become the social things, aren't they? That it gets you out, makes you go out, it makes you meet people that you wouldn't otherwise meet, and you know, seeing people, you know, sometimes you'll bump into these people around town.
So much of community development focuses on deficits, negative things, working with communities and saying what's wrong about them. So our approach has really turned it upside down and really enabled people to start connecting around what's great about where they live. That we've employed a team of community builders that we put in each of the neighbourhoods across Torbay, and they become super connectors. So they have conversations on the street with people, they find out what people are passionate about in their local neighbourhood, they find out the things that they're not so happy about, but most importantly what they're prepared to do about it. And then the community builders enable the residents in that area to bring about changes.
I think the things that Aging Well do bring that friendship. As long as you're prepared to allow it into your life, then that friendship's there.
So essentially, the approach that we've got can be rolled out anywhere within the UK and in fact anywhere internationally, because it's just about putting people in the middle of what they want to happen in their communities.
Thank you once again. Another really great video talking about Aging Well. And now we're going to hear some of those community builders. And I'd like to invite Marina, Theo and Frank to present to us. Thank you.
Hello, hi, I'm Theo Tanser. I'm the community builder for Heal, Watcombe and Barton. And I've been a community builder for the last 6 years. And I'm speaking to you on behalf of all the community builders. We were really happy this year to hear that the lottery are going to fund Aging Well for a 7th year. We felt that we missed out a year with the pandemic, so it gives us a chance really to move forward. And that will take us up to March 2022. The team have had a very challenging year, as everyone has. Community building in a pandemic is very different from our usual work, but the amazing team of community builders have met the challenge. They have been strong, resilient and adaptable, and have found new ways of connecting people and making sure that all our isolated people have the help they need from neighbours and volunteers by linking them together. We've also had the challenge of changing the way we work as a team to a self-managing model and doing all this remotely. Phew, it's been quite a journey. Going forward, we've been discussing and planning how to adapt again as lockdown restrictions ease over the next few months. And our pledge to the lottery for this final year is to reconnect with our people from before the pandemic, those that we were working with in the first 6 years, or 5 years rather, and then to connect with people that have been newly isolated by COVID, and then also to connect with new people that we've come across via the helpline. Well, that's a lot of connecting to do. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're really looking forward to getting back out into our communities again. And we're planning to do community pop-ups in outdoor bumping spaces. A bumping space is where people naturally meet. So it might be outside the shops, outside the local school, or in green spaces. This will give us a chance to chat with people about how they are feeling about social activities and find out what people want within the boundaries of the restrictions. They will also give us a chance to tell people about a few of the things that we're planning to set up. One of those is a new telephone group activities. These run with several people on a call with a facilitator who will run the activities such as quizzes, talks, poetry groups, seated exercise, music appreciation and wellbeing activities. We aim to have these facilitated by volunteers and to be self-managing within a very short time. And these activities are aimed really at people that are not online and are not yet able to go out. Then as the weather gets warmer, we'll again be doing activities in open spaces, much like the shielded park activities that we did last summer, with dance, tai chi and gentle exercise. By taking our learning from last year, we will make them even more successful. Some areas will be offering COVID-safe coffee mornings by invitation and targeted at those that are nervous about going out into a social space. They will be organised by community builders to ensure a high level of safety and a warm and gentle welcome. We're also looking forward to getting the time bank up to strength again, and we'll be promoting this alongside Torbay Together. As groups start to function again, we will be making sure that their activities go onto the Torbay Together website. We will also be sharing the new the new unlocking guidelines and advising groups and community centres on how to be safe when opening up again. There was a lot of anxiety about this after the first lockdown, and I think we'll be more prepared for this time. And then further down the line and further into the summer, we hope to encourage street parties and flash mobs and processions and all kinds of fun. It's hard to plan for such an uncertain future, but whatever we are able to do will be aimed at reconnecting and reassuring people and helping them get back to some kind of normal, we hope. Thank you. Now I'm going to hand over to Frank Y to say a few words.
Hello.
Go ahead, Frank.
We'll get
Okay,
there
Frank.
eventually. We'll get there eventually.
We can hear you, Frank.
Okay. Well, I retired 20 years ago and my wife died 6 years ago. And prior to her death, it never even occurred to us to volunteer for charities. I think the thoughts were just charity shops. Since then, since she died, I volunteered just to get out of the house with Aging Well and with other charities. And the thing that struck me over this whole period is just how many people are isolated, far more than we really know. And the job that the community builders were doing before the pandemic, getting the people out and getting people like me to give them lifts and getting them to places was really great. Unfortunately, the pandemic has put a stop to most of that at the moment, and it's going to be really difficult for them afterwards, but also there's going to be far more people. I know of one woman recently whose car is in her garage and she hasn't had it out for a year and she's now too frightened to get it out. I'm also a member of the U3A locally that are 350 members. They've written to them about restarting and only 80 people have replied. So there's going to be a huge amount of isolation, I think, in the next few months. And the role of the community builders is going to be absolutely essential. And they do a great job, as far as I'm concerned. I just think that we should try to get more people to help them in setting these things up. That's all I need to say, I think.
Thank you, Frank. And thank you for all your support and time.
All right.
Is Marina coming in or?
Marianne.
Marianne, sorry. My apologies.
Hi, I'm
Trying to read
Marianne.
two screens.
I'm Marianne. I'm the community builder for Wellswood and the creative community builder. We've been working on our Aging Better co-production learning festival toolkit. It's a bit of a mouthful. And the launch week is in May. And there are two themes, ABCD, asset-based community development, and co-production in a crisis. So the video that you saw about the helpline is going to go into that toolkit to show people all about the helpline and how it came about, how it's working. We've made a toolkit for each theme, which will go onto the lottery website. And today we presented our webinar, What is ABCD, with Torbay Community Builders, and got some lovely comments in the chat box. People said, just to say thank you for organising this event today, it was excellent. Thanks to all of you, a great session, inspiring. Really enjoyed hearing about the work Thank you for sharing today, really useful. It has been very enlightening, insightful, very interesting. So wonderful community builders. How can you join or be part of this? Thank you. It's been so lovely to learn more about ABCD, fantastic work in Torbay. So we're getting the word out there about how brilliantly ABCD works. People on the recent Aging Better webinars have been asking about training for ABCD. So now a group of community builders are working with Simon to devise our own training package. That's already booked to start going out in the autumn. During the toolkit launch in May, we have some of our own speakers there. Simon and Joe Williams, Head of Adult Social Care, will be in conversation about co-producing in a crisis. Also, our Tracy and Martin Simon, our time banking and ABCD guru, will be given an introduction to asset-based community development. We will also be offering 3 exciting workshops. So the first one is called Dancing on a Shifting Carpet, aka Lockdown and Dragons. It's on the theme of co-production in a crisis. So think escape room meets Taskmaster meets Dungeons and Dragons on the helpline in lockdown. Ash is our games master, solving actual helpline scenarios together in teams. The next one is engaging to harness community strengths. This one is on the ABCD theme. Simon is leading a lovely interactive session on sharing, listening and connecting, and again with community builders where we can learn how we have what we need when we share what we have. And the last one is called Ice Creams and Seagulls. Again, ABCD. We've updated a game that was originally devised by us for an Aging Better conference in Sheffield. We play the game like Snakes and Ladders, only it's seagulls and ice creams all together to find out about 12 Aging Well groups, activities and projects from the people who set them up and from the people in the community who take part in them. It should be a lot of fun, and the link will go on our website to sign up for anything you would like to attend very soon. Thank you.
Well done, Marianne, Theo, and also Frank. That was excellent. Thank you very much. And as so much in the chat is being said, some very creative thinking as well. So thank you. We are coming to a break shortly, but before we do, I'm going to invite John, June, and Stella just to give us a quick update on the Over 50s Assembly aspirations. John, over to you.
Thank you. We've got a little presentation to show. So yeah, next slide, please. Next slide, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, so look, I'd like to just introduce June, Pierce and Stella. They're both very active members of Torbay Assembly Action Group, as well as many other groups in the Bay. And the Assembly has developed through the Aging Well program as a way to link people with statutory and voluntary organisations to ensure that their voices are heard and acted upon. So as a go-between, really. The Assembly can be seen as a legacy from Aging Well as a way to carry the program forward, and we're working on some of those strategies at the moment. So June will introduce to you the Charter and age-friendly work, and Stella will outline our current work and future plans. So could we have the next slide, Matt, and June, handing over to you.
June, you might be muted. I'm not sure about.
I'm unmuted.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Before the COVID pandemic, which sounds a very familiar thing, doesn't it? A group of volunteers, together with representatives from the statutory agencies, drew up a charter. We didn't use a strategic document because that will only lie on shelves, as so many have in the past. And the idea of the charter was to challenge ageism and remove barriers, stressing people were the solution. And by working together, we could develop Torbay as a great place to live and work for all ages. This has since been updated, and now we are working with a number of our agencies to sign up to this document with adaptations to suit their own requirements and responsibilities, including Torbay Council and the Torbay and South Devon NHS Trust. Following on from the Charter, this has led us to consider applying to join the World Health Organization Age-Friendly Network. Achieving this is the central aim and commitment of the Charter. Many of the concerns of our residents replicate the themes of age-friendly, these being transport, employment, the environment, health, housing, communication, participation and inclusion. Absolutely covering everything that our dear residents are concerned about and are interested in. Organisations, businesses and groups who sign up to the Charter can identify where their business or service will have a positive impact and engage with the Assembly in ensuring Torbay is truly age-friendly.
Sorry, Matt. Yeah, just like to introduce Stella. Matt, could you roll the slides forward a bit? So this just shows you the Charter that's being signed at the moment and some of our age-friendly work. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think, yes, okay, thanks. So as June said, okay, Aging Well, if you go back, Matt, sorry, just go back one. Aging Well carried out a number of involvement activities with the over 50s as part of the kind of establishing of the Assembly, which was to be one of the outcomes from Aging Well. And as June said, there was a very strong linkage really between the issues that the over 50s were raising and the criteria that the World Health Organization had set for age-friendly status. And so that then has become the list of themes really that the Assembly has taken to be its work plan. So I think initially the idea was that these would be kind of separate working groups and that members from the Assembly core group would lead on activities around these themes with the kind of members we have throughout the Bay. But I think really COVID has probably made us think about that and try and really develop new ways of engaging with our members. And so I think we're moving much more towards a kind of well-being agenda and really using the themes as a kind of checklist to say these are the issues that we need to be tackling. We need to make sure that we are addressing them, not necessarily in a separate box, but because some of them overlap and need to be kind of viewed together. So I think we are moving much more towards a kind of joined up approach that looks at people's well-being and involving our members in activities on the ground. Thanks, Matt. Next slide, please. So this really then is our current work. We're reviewing this kind of the structure of the Assembly, still recruiting members, but really trying to be more imaginative about how we engage with them and leading hopefully out of COVID into the new world. And part of that has been one of our kind of practical pieces that we're working on is to develop an over 50s roadmap so that will provide kind of up-to-date information about the current situation in terms of what's open, what people can do, but encourage people, acknowledging that people perhaps have been shielding, feel very anxious about the new world. So to help them develop strategies for themselves as to how they can kind of re-engage and renew themselves really, not necessarily going back to all the old things that they did, but moving on in hopefully a confident and joyful way. We're looking at how we will get community Assembly member meetings together, whether those are going to be kind of physical meetings, hopefully, eventually, or whether it will be more online, and probably it will be a mixture of both of those. As June said, we're looking at the kind of more strategic things as well, refreshing the Charter. We're also looking about the sustainability of the Assembly, trying to kind of focus our message, identify what our role is going to be, given that there's a wide range of kind of service delivery and statutory organisations that we want to engage with. So we're undergoing a lot of debate at the moment, and hopefully at the end of that, we're going to come out with a very kind of clear focus on what our role is and how we will build strong partnerships with those working around us. And eventually we hope to move towards an age-friendly application to join the network of the World Health Organization. And after that, I think it's world domination. Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Stella. Over to you, Chris.
John, thank you, Stella, and also June. Great to hear that. Yeah, let's go for world domination. Let's get Torbay sorting everything out. So we're going to take a break. Zoom is very strange, so we're going to give an opportunity to get yourself a drink maybe, or take a comfort break. I'm sorry we can't provide you any cake or tea this year, but please do that. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. According to my clock, it's 8 minutes past 6. So let's come back together at 18 minutes past 6. And if you want to turn your camera or video off, please do. So thank you very much. Just a brief overview. So let's play the video to begin with, and then I'll invite Dave to share his thoughts.
Imagine This Live, showcasing all the great work from all our partners across Torbay. Welcome to the Imagine This Live podcast. Today we're talking to Zoe from Youth Genesis about the work they're doing with Imagine This and the work they're doing during COVID-19.
What impact do you think has the Imagine This partnership had on your organisation?
It's definitely helped us work more closely with some of the other organisations, which has been great. I'm definitely now more aware of other organisations as well that are in the Bay that work with young people. But definitely there's been more of a collaboration, which I think is what Imagine This was there for. And so it's obviously doing its work, which is great.
Yeah, great. Do you think you could let me know some of the projects you're running that Imagine This has funded?
Yes. So Imagine This has funded our pop-up hot chocolate stands. This lockdown, we've had to cease them at the minute, but before lockdown, we were in 3 locations across the Bay, having young people come and get a free hot chocolate or a free milkshake as a way for them to come and access support and know where we were each week, as we couldn't run centre-based stuff. That went down really well. Young people love hot chocolate and milkshakes apparently, which goes, yeah,
Who doesn't, eh?
Exactly. We've also done Empower packs with that as well. So we were giving out packs that had all activities around mental health. We gave them out at the first lockdown, and the young people could also come and get them from us as well. And glow stick, we always tend to have glow sticks on hand for young people too.
So you've been running 2 projects, is that during lockdown?
In Torbay, hang on, I have to think now. In Torbay, I think we've got 6 projects in Torbay currently running.
Thank you, Dave.
Hello, everybody. I've been very much enjoying watching it up to now. So this is the nerve-wracking bit, isn't it? We have to say something. Okay, that's a very short example of one of 57 different projects that we've funded over the past year. We've spent about £440,000 from 4 different funding streams on 57 projects. We are a partnership now of 47 different organisations, from big national charities in the Bay, medium-sized charities in one town, to very small charities in just one very small part of one town. And our aim is to try and draw all those different partners together. The National Lottery Communities Fund has enabled us to create a number of different partnerships from the different partners. And in this bizarre 12 months where COVID has been the buzzword, we've managed to create an amazing number of different activities. We've made 13 plus activity and play packs, 0 to 5 activity and play packs, which have been delivered to people's homes for young people to use at home. We've funded street football. We've funded an organisation to look at how we can begin to develop safer streets for young people. Wellbeing practitioners. We've provided activities for the young carers and youth trust young people in the forest school. We've provided arts, music and broadcasting experiences for young people. We've helped to develop some thinking around climate action when we're able to actually get back into the great outdoors again. We didn't know that it was going to be like this, to be honest. I mean, it's been a very strange 12 months for all of us, and we didn't quite know how it was going to work. So it's been really, really refreshing to see how much the different organizations have pulled together. I was trying to think, if you were going to make a film of Imagine This, what sort of a film it would be. And I think it would have to be a Western, that you'd basically start with a roundup of wild mustangs, brilliant, magnificent beasts, but all pulling completely in different directions. And you'd have to see them being corralled and then gradually trained by gentle persuasion to work together until we produce teams of thoroughbreds. And then now you would see that we have a stagecoach. It's a reliable means of travel. We've got people who've paid us to provide it, but it's a bit bumpy at times. We know where we're going. We've got a schedule for getting there. We've avoided numerous potholes, and so far we haven't been ambushed by outlaws or highwaymen. So the film would end with us rolling off into the distance and the sunset. And our journey continues.
Davey, thank you. That was excellent. Really, really good. And as Matt's put in the chat, the full podcast is available. So please click on there and listen to that and find out more about the Imagine This program. And love the scenario as well, as long as it's not 3 wheels on my wagon. Okay, we're going to move on. And we're now going to hear from Robin Causley, who does an incredible job supporting many charities and community groups in the Bay around funding advice. Robin, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Robin Causley. I'm a community funding advisor. My job, like many in the sector, changed quite dramatically during the pandemic. The immediacy of the crisis meant that many groups, especially those in the front line in Torbay, needed support, and they needed it quickly. In the first instance, it was about having the resources, the capacity and the flexibility to respond to a rapidly changing and deteriorating situation as it affected their beneficiaries and members. The voluntary and community and social enterprise sector did what it does best, stepping up to respond to new and urgent needs in society. But it often needed additional financial resources to do so. So no longer was my role about looking forward and helping groups resource new ideas and new projects, but much more about getting funds in as soon as possible to help those in the most urgent need to get the support from the sector that they desperately needed. So I provided support to those groups, and in particular those providing a range of support through the pandemic, advice and information, practical support, and provisions from food banks, those working with those on low incomes and in poverty in the Bay, children and families, the homeless, mental health conditions, domestic abuse, befriending, hospital discharge, counselling, all the functions that voluntary sector organisations were involved in and needed resourcing for. Many of those, of course, were aligned with us in supporting the helpline. And as the referrals escalated, they needed the resources to be able to respond to the growing need. So the needs in all those areas grew significantly as the pandemic got worse. Thankfully, the agility and flexibility of the sector was matched by many funders too, with emergency grants becoming available, which had quick and fairly straightforward applications procedures, enabling groups to seek funding much quicker than normal. To this end, we've seen record amounts of funding coming into the Bay. The figures in the annual report, though impressive, don't actually paint the full picture. They just reflect where we've had some involvement in terms of accessing those funds, in terms of supporting groups with help, information, bid writing, etc. But if you look at the total figures for the National Lottery Community Fund, for instance, in the calendar years 2019 and 20, just short of 1,800,000 was awarded to groups in the Bay, a record for the Bay, far exceeding what's generally coming in terms of grants. Devon Community Foundation awarded £225,000 worth of grants in 2020 alone to Torbay groups. And when you think that most of those were small grants of less than 10,000, that's an awful lot of groups that have managed to succeed in getting emergency funding to support their vital services. So a high number of smaller organisations got grant funding and utilised that to the very best effect, providing vital support during the pandemic for their beneficiaries. Despite the huge contribution that the sector made during the pandemic, we face huge challenges in the weeks and months ahead. Many of the issues facing charity beneficiaries in Torbay aren't going to go away. Indeed, they will worsen for some, unfortunately. So for many in the sector who've suffered heavy financial losses with their usual revenue streams, such as obviously through charity shock income, event fundraising, community fundraising, donations, memberships, rental income, etc. They've all taken a massive hit, and their funds desperately need to be replenished and built up again. Groups' reserves have been heavily depleted and have very little to fall back on as we rebuild. The cultural and sporting sector in particular, in many cases, is on its knees, and it's going to take a long time for some of those organisations to get back to where they were. So my role, with support of colleagues as we move forward and beyond the crisis, will be to help the sector rebuild and repurpose and replace and diversify those income streams. And where possible and where appropriate, encourage organisations to work together, both within the sector and with the statutory partners. We've seen some great partnership work and some great collaboration going on. And I think they definitely we're on course to seeing that continue. And it needs to be. We need to be working together and sharing where we can and building capacity and capability on a joint basis. So looking forward, we've got much to tackle, but I'm confident with having seen the way that the sector's been so agile and flexible during the pandemic, but we'll survive, we'll come through it, and we'll be stronger as a sector. Thank you very much.
Robin, thank you. That was excellent. You won't have seen the lots of messages of thanks to you personally from around the room. So a big well done. And also would really encourage you all to sign up to the newsletter and the resource that Robin gives out to all of us each month. So well done. Thank you all very much. Okay, we're going to now go into Local Spark, a newly formed organisation over these last 12-18 months, I think. But Chris Gunson, I'm going to hand over to you and leave it with you for the next 5 minutes.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Gunson and I'm one of the 2 directors of Local Spark, Torbay Community Supported Enterprise. You should now, I hope, be able to see the front page of our website, which summarises quite neatly what we're all about. We got together in 2017 after I met my co-director Jay Tomt and of course Simon Traversky. We've been delighted to work closely with TCDT ever since. Our focus, as you can see from our website, is to work towards transforming Torbay's economy into one which is fair, equitable and resilient for people and planet. We are small but mighty because we are so passionate about bringing about this change. We like to shorthand this by saying we're not aiming very high, we just want to completely transform the economy of Torbay. So bear with us. Our approach is to work from both the bottom up and the top down. We support existing and new social enterprises, real businesses which make a good living for those who run them, together with making positive contributions for our community. We set up the Torbay Social Enterprise Network in November 2019 and now have almost 50 members. And that's despite only having a few months before lockdown got us. Recently, we were fortunate to get some lottery funding to continue this support. We used part of it to co-design 2 workshops, which were called Do What You Love for a Living. This idea came from one of our existing, fairly new social entrepreneurs. We worked with 4 of them to design the workshops and to actually deliver them. So that was particularly good because it meant we could support them and pay them some money at the same time as running a really good workshop that was really relevant for people who were trying to get started. I hope you're seeing a slide at this point. Not the most elegant of shots, but don't you just love them? They're real. They're as close to real as we can get until we can get back to working face to face again. We believe that to make sure there are good opportunities for small businesses like these to thrive and grow, systems need to change at the top. So we're delighted to be part of Torbay's Community Wealth Building Initiative, led by Torbay Council and the TDA. There should be another slide here. This is a collaboration between Torbay's anchor institutions. They're the ones that aren't going anywhere. That's why they're called anchor institutions. That's the Council, TDA, the NHS Trust, South Devon College, TCDT, of course, and Local Spark. You can see on the slide that there are 5 what are called pillars. Don't really like that term, but it supports the whole programme. The ones that are being prioritised here in Torbay are firstly procurement. Between them, those anchor institutions spend something in the region of £700 million a year. If only 5% of that is diverted so that it goes to local businesses, local organisations, that can make a major impact on the whole community. And there's a lot of work going on to start making that shift. There's a lot of commitment to it. The second is good employment practices. This is just being pulled together at the moment and will soon be shared with some of the bigger employers in the area. And again, this is aimed at raising the general standard, both of wages, of how people are treated, how the recruitment processes happen, the whole thing. And last but not least is changing the ownership of businesses. And this is a big part of this is going to be focusing on developing more social enterprises, more cooperatives in particular, so that the people who are actually running the businesses have a say in what goes on. It's not all being done remotely from a company that's owned by, I don't know, somewhere in Taiwan. So I hope you can see that between this bottom-up approach of supporting and encouraging social enterprises and the top-down one of providing opportunities for them, that between those, then over time, the economy can really change. And we're going to be working really closely with TCDT and the team to make that happen. Thank you very much.
Chris, thank you very much for that excellent presentation and video, and well done to all of the team. So we've heard a lot over the last hour and a bit. We're going to now take 10 minutes. We're going to go into some breakout rooms and really ask you, what are the challenges that you're facing post-COVID, and what can the Torbay Community Development Trust do to help you, and how can that inform our business plan? We are just going to spend a few moments. I guarantee we will be finished by 7 o'clock, but let's not waste this opportunity that we have. So between Matt and David, if we can break into some groups, literally 10 minutes, and then we will come back together. Thank you.
David, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
Excellent. Everybody back, David?
Looks like it, Chris.
Good. Yeah, well done. Yeah, absolutely. Big well done to David and Matt for the way that they are supporting and helping us enable to action this. Can you, I'm just going to remove the spotlight, David, because I want to see everybody if I can. Right, okay, fine, I'm there now. So a huge thank you, well done for an excellent series of activities there and information, and there is so much material. A huge well done to the whole of the team and volunteers and everybody working together. Thank you. So we're now going to formally move into our AGM part, and we are going to start off by approving our minutes. We are able to do this virtually, and I'm going to ask you to indicate to me that you're happy with anything that I say, and I'm going to ask you to do that by waving at me. And then if you're not happy, I'm going to ask everybody to stay still, and then we can go from there. So we start off by the minutes that have come out from last year. I'm sure you can all remember exactly what happened in last year's meeting, and you'll be able to pick me up on anything. So first of all, can I have an approval for the minutes of the meeting held in quickly on the other computer,
30th of October.
So the 30th of October 2019.
Yeah.
Can you please indicate that you are happy with the minutes received? Just wave to me or put up some sort of sign. That's great. Thank you very much. It's great having so many people waving at me. Anybody not happy? No, that's fine. Okay, we're going to move on. You will also have seen the annual report that has been sent out, and can I say a huge thank you to the individuals that have pulled that together. It is 20 pages. I'd encourage you to look at it. I'd encourage you to read some of the fantastic stuff that the CDT has undertaken with its partners over the last 18 months. So everybody comfortable with the annual report? Yeah, great. And included in there are highlights of the accounts, and the accounts are also at the back of the report, and you will see some key figures there, and you will actually see that financially we actually ended up last year significantly better than we did the year before, and the financial review is very thorough, and I want to place on record mine and the trustees' sincere thanks to Rosie, who since joining the organisation has done an incredible job in pulling the financial information and the way that we manage the organisation together. So huge thank you to Rosie, absolutely brilliant. I'm not sure if I can see you on the screen. There you are. Thank you, Rosie, waving to me. Brilliant, excellent. And also a big thank you to a new trustee, Queenie, who's been supporting Rosie recently. Does anybody have any questions with regard to the accounts that they want to raise? If not, can you please indicate that you are happy to accept them as they are? A few more waves, please. Yep. Great. Okay, fantastic. Does anybody have any questions at all? No, that's even better. So we then move on to the election of new trustees. The reappointment of Thomas Westcott as our auditors 21-22. Everybody comfortable? Please indicate. Thank you. And so we now come to the election of trustees. We've got 2 trustees that are standing down this year but are eligible for re-election. And Jim Parker is standing for re-election as trustee. And unfortunately, due to personal reasons, I'm not standing for re-election. So today is my last function as a trustee and chair of the Torbay Community Development Trust. So we have Jim as a trustee, and also we would like to elect Sarah Martin as a new trustee. She was co-opted part of the year, and we want to make that official. So can you please indicate that you are happy to accept Jim Parker and Sarah Martin as trustees? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Also, nominations for new trustees. Simon, have we got any?
I've not received anything, Chris.
Okay, thank you. So the trustees will be looking at, over the next 12 months, the possibility of co-opting 2 trustees. They have the power to co-opt 2 trustees during the year, and they will be specifically looking at skills and expertise within communications, HR, and legal. So we would like to just let you know that we will be seeking some of those people with those skills. Those are the formal parts of the AGM. Simon?
Sorry, Chris, I didn't want to let the meeting finish without a recognition of your input to the CDT, and would like to invite any other members of the CDT team or trustees to comment too. But I just want to say, Chris, from the bottom of my heart, you were part of founding this amazing organisation. You've been with us throughout the journey so far, and culminating in your chairship. You've always been a huge supporter, and I just want to say a huge thank you on behalf of the team. And I can see lots of other trustees and others clapping. So we wish you all the best, Chris. You know, with what you've got to cope with in the coming time. We hope you may rejoin us again if you can. But just a huge thank you from all of us, Chris, for your support and challenge, always appropriately done. So huge thank you from me and everyone else, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you all. That's very, very kind of you. Jim, did you want to put your hand up, or you?
I just wanted to repeat what Simon said on behalf of the trustees and everybody, Chris. The job you've done has been tremendous. I don't think anybody appreciates the amount of time you put in, not just at meetings, behind the scenes, and you're a busy chap as it is. So I've been with the CDT and the CVA for years, and I've seen how it's been transformed with you and Simon and the brilliant team. So I just think I'd like to lodge on behalf of everybody official thanks to you, and wish you all the very best in the future, and hope you don't take too long before you come back.
Thank you, and thank you ever so much for everybody. Your best wishes. You know where my heart is. It's in the Bay, but I just need to take some time to deal with something personally over the next few months. Okay, ladies and gents, that just leaves us to conclude our time together and to say a massive thank you to Simon and the whole team at the Torbay Community Development Trust, our partners that we work with throughout the Bay, and also the fantastic volunteers that we see doing incredible work. This last year has really shown the community come together as the community ought to. And the community of Torbay are a leading light within national things and showing how it can be done so well. So that's fantastic. Thank you very much. And finally, I just want to once again say a massive well done to David and Matt, who have done an absolutely brilliant job on this technical new world in which we live. So, ladies and gents, we're going to pull the meeting to a close at 18:57. So within my 7 o'clock deadline. So if you haven't had your tea yet, you can go and get your dinner. And I wish you all the very best, and God bless for the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.